Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to some more Diablo 2. So not a lot really changed since the last episode. It's been about 2 days, I think, since I played. And I just hopped in. I actually did a couple of things. The inventory is still exactly the same. But I went over to Butterfinger, and hey, this stuff looks familiar. What's this all about? That's right, I gave the mercenary some gear. I finally, after however many videos did it, got him a rock stopper, a Pierre Tombal Quant. I don't think that's how you pronounce it. And this Eth Silks the Victor. If you don't know, Eth gear actually does have lower strength requirements, so he is able to wear that. And this is just kind of okay. Let's actually look at what I wanted to use on him, because this will blow your mind, but I can't use it on this character. So this one's actually using a Bone Hew, Rock Stopper, and Rock Fleece. This is kind of budget, so technically the one we've got right now on Twix is actually probably better. But I'll show you guys what I wanted to use on him, and I was really disappointed that I couldn't. I mean, this is all I've got for like stuff right now, so I just chose the silks because it's pretty high defense. Not really a lot going on there. And where is the damn thing? I just had it in my brains. Where'd you put the items 10 seconds ago, Seth, you dumb shit? I don't know either. Oh, here it is. Arioch's Needle. Fucking look at that. +3 to all skills. Look at that damage it gives. Ignores defense. Fuckloads of poison. Deadly strike. 3 to all skills. This is a fantastic spear just for raw damage alone. But enough of what we can't have yet. So let's go back to Twix. We're gonna do Act 1, baby. Alright, so it's been a few days since I've played, so I'm a little rusty. So Act 5, what are we gonna do, man? So first things first, we gotta get up this goddamn mountain. We gotta go kill Bale. We got shit to do. I've got shit to do. It's Nightmare, for God's sake. We need to get on with our lives. Stop fucking around with this whole nonsense about an invasion and all these... You know, this isn't Russia. Come on, man. This ain't cool. So we're just gonna keep blitzing forward here. I am gonna keep Bloody Foothills in mind for later farming, and that's because... Well, yeah, I need mana too, but holy shit, this density! So, we haven't changed any of the items just yet, so let's go ahead and get the waypoint. Let's go ahead and remember how to play the character, Seth. It's only been like 2 days. So, yeah. We're gonna go do all of Act 5, hopefully this video. I'm not super worried about farming up to get more, because at this point, I feel confident that we can definitely get at least to Bale. And that's personally all I really could ask for. Let's not get close to that. That is a scary, scary prospect. Okay, so we killed Shank. That's pretty cool. Now we can go ahead and kill this jackass, Eldritch. Yeah, the broken Yu-Gi-Oh card. Actually, Eldritch isn't that broken in Yu-Gi-Oh. You're just like me. I once thought like you do, said Anakin Skywalker to Obi-Wan. Ugh. Did I really just go there? Alright, let's pretend I didn't and go ahead and get our groove on, baby. So I'm not super worried about Act 5. The one things I... Oh, Jesus. The one things I am worried about, well, it's gonna be... Frozen River is gonna be an absolute goddamn nightmare. That is a, like, perfect amount of gold. Wow. That never really happens. And I am worried pretty bad about... I think that's the main one. I'm kind of worried about the Frozen River dungeons, because those are going to be really narrow. And this character, while really good, is still really squishy. You will never, ever, ever mitigate the fact that you are the squishiest character in the entire game. Now, I think at this point, I don't really have to worry about a whole lot. And you could be like, Seth, you're twinking out your mercenary too? I thought you had honor. Well, I'm not fucking Zuko, and you're not my mom, so don't tell me what to do, okay? Speaking of mom, I get a text. I don't speak to my mom anymore, but still, you know, I haven't talked to her in like fucking 2 years. I'm not missing anything. And you might be like, oh, your mom sounds, but she birthed you, and yeah, that was her first mistake, wasn't it? So, yeah. Starting off this episode strong, aren't we? You know, weak in the metaphysical sense, but you know what? It don't matter. So, what am I worried about the most right now? I mean, we're starting to approach the point where you really start to feel how fragile sorceresses actually are. You may do a shitload of damage, I will always say this. You may seem like, oh, this can't be that bad in hell. Until you've actually done it, like I have a few times. I've only maybe gotten 2 or 3 sources up to hell, and they've all been this variation of this build. So, obviously, that was years ago. This is now. This is big boy, okay? We're able to deal with shit. We're adults, okay? We do our own fucking laundry, and we do it with pride. Mind you, I've been doing my laundry since I was a very small child, so I guess that makes me even more of an adult, right? Can I just say this on record? I hate when people unironically say, oh, adulting is so hard. I'm just like, you know what? That's called life, dude. Did you think your parents had it any easier? Probably not. We probably had it a lot easier. Your parents probably grew up fucking having to go out and milk the cows and then milk their sister or something. I don't know. I don't want to know what people had to do 20 years ago. That's a scary thought in my mind. So, yeah, like I was gonna say before I got distracted by this overly elaborate tangent, what am I worried about right now? I really start needing to get synergy skills up to keep my damage level. I think we're actually doing okay in terms of where our stats are right now. As you can see, we're at 26, it looks like? It's 24, sorry. 24 for Fireball, and then we're at 20... So that's deceptive because I actually have gear on that's different. So that's 20, that's plus 2. So we're only at like 21. So we need to start putting points into Glacial Spike and all the other ones here. You know, I know this sounds crazy, but that amulet's actually really damn good, and it's going to be really hard for me to want to part with it. Because it's actually really good for the build right now. And I know you're probably one of those crazy people, but like, oh, but Seth, you found it, like, on Butterfinger. I will say this again and again and again if you don't believe me. I mean, actually, as of this episode, I think we're only up to, like, episode 3 on YouTube. So, I'm sorry if all your suggestions and hints have already been ignored, but they might already be. So, I'm so sorry. I play Diablo in big old batches because I want to get shit done so I can play on my time, my terms, my Diablo, okay? Not your Diablo, not Diablo me, or Diablo 3, but my Diablo time. I guess it's Diablo me, am I right? So, anywho, yeah, we need to start focusing down pretty hard on my soft points, or at least my synergies. I kind of want to get cold, because I think my remaining dump stats, I kind of want to get this up to 150. I've been thinking about it. I'm pretty sure Monarchs require 150 strength. But, you know, we'll worry about that when we cross that bridge, won't we? So, I can always respec if I fuck something up. I haven't used any of my respecs yet, so I'm very lucky in that regard. But, you know, I think the remaining points I'm going to be using after we max Glacial Spike and Fire Bolts is probably going to be put into at least 1 point in... Well, let me do this. A couple of points in Cold Mastery, because I do want to get that Resistance Pierce. That's something that's actually very important. Because, yeah, we're going to eventually have to do something about resistances. I mean, I could theoretically get a... Did I... Oh, I was gonna say, there's no fucking way I've already done this quest. I just gotta find that last batch of dudes. So we do have our socket quest unlocked for this difficulty, which I'm probably going to hold off on for a long, long time. So if you don't know how the socket quest works, Larzuk will add the maximum amount of sockets an item can get. So a good example is, this is why people use Monarchs, right? Because they're the best damn structure deck ever released, and one of the best decks ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't question it. I'll talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! In a minute, but I don't want to, but I will. Trust me, I don't want to talk about what we're going to talk about today. This is like if parents come in, they're going to say, sit down here, we have something to talk about. And you don't know what it is. It's probably something not that serious, but you, in your mind at that age, you're like, oh, what did I do? I see that, I want to get this well first. But, so, what's the most important thing to me right now? It's definitely getting a Monarch. That's a pretty high priority, because Larzuk, when you do Larzuk's quest, he actually gives you max sockets that an item rolls up to. He also socket punches uniques, which is pretty important. I believe uniques can roll with sockets. Actually, let me demonstrate something. That's not what I meant to demonstrate. Anyways, let's go up here and hit this next waypoint up. I want to show you something that I'm pretty sure somebody out there would probably want, and I'll show you why when I actually get to the waypoint. You might have actually glimpsed it, but you didn't see it, if you know what I'm talking about here. So we are at the Ariat Plateau. We can get... I just want to find a waypoint. That's all I'm trying to do right now. I don't care about anything else. I just want to... I want to show off, okay? Let me have my damn moment, okay? I'm not a very good Diablo 2 player as a whole, so showing off anything I found is always really cool to me. So, alright, this sucks. So, you can see what I mean. We don't have the ability to damage this enemy any other way. You can theoretically ignore things, but when there's things like bosses, oh god, this is a good example as to why we don't fight everything. Oh my god, this is a hellacious mess, and I really am not smart for getting involved in this. But you know what, I want that XP still, so I'm willing to take this risk, and it's probably a really bad idea, and I'm probably gonna die if I'm not careful. So, anyways, socketing. So yeah, you can socket uniques. I think you can socket sets with Larzuk. I don't think you can't. Something about that just says you can to me. Don't quote me if you can't. I mean, I've socketed uniques before using Larzuk in the past, but that does not mean I know what I'm talking about. So don't listen to me. Just don't do it. But yeah, Larzuk can socket uniques. There are some uniques that are actually better to socket because obviously they either can't roll sockets naturally or, you know, it's just really good. I want to show off this damn socket, okay? So this is where I'm going to get scared. Let's go in here. Good afternoon. This is where I fuck up the dungeon pathing in my mind every time I do this. Alright, so these guys, infidels, I think they get boosted up to Marauder in Hell. I believe they're fire immune once we hit Hell difficulty. So that's kind of a bummer. Archers are going to be a pain in the ass. I think they also spawn with cold immunity once we hit Hell difficulty. We can still kind of cruise control through some things, but that does not mean we can do it for very long. It's the frozen river! But I want to fucking do this so bad. Oh my god. Archers are one of the most damaging enemies in the game. I don't really know exactly why that is, they just are. So, alright, let's do this the smart way, because last time I did this I actually didn't even get the waypoint. Waypoints I think usually spawn in this left-hand corner, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not an expert on Diablo 2 map generation, so please don't ever assume I know exactly what I'm talking about. If you want someone who knows what they're doing, go watch Mr. Llama. I am not one of those folks, okay? I'm not that good. I'm just a funsies guy. I like it. What is that? Oh, it's a globe. So anyways, your socket quest it can socket anything. And the reason you can't socket uniques naturally is because you can't. If you add the socket punch recipe, which is perfect amethyst, pull, and I did this pull and Amrune, or is it Ral Am? I'm pretty sure. I've discussed it before in the past. If you can always look up on Ari at Summit, but because I actually do have some of these written down on my phone, so I don't forget it when I'm actually doing stuff. Because I actually have the stuff I'm looking for on my phone, so I know what I'm looking for half the time. Oh, that's death. Ooh, that's spooky. Let's not deal with that right this second. Okay, that was a big spooky moment. That's in a moment as a sorceress you gotta go, alright, dipping in, getting out. So, a good example is this is kind of what Hell is like if you've never seen Hell difficulty. Hell difficulty is like this, but it's like this all the fucking time. Curses also last a lot longer in that difficulty, so I'm not super worried about the enemies in here. There we go. This is all I wanted. So I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. So, oh, excuse me. So if we go in our stash here on Butterfinger, and we go over to our shields, this is not my shields page. This is not my shields page at all. Okay, let's go find the areas. So you can see I have a Moser's with 2 sockets. This is an all-res. This is just a pretty solid block chance as well. Fairly decent when it comes to defense as a whole. I'm not sure if this could be better, but it could be. I mean, the ED is pretty good on it too. So if we wanted to, we could socket this with pretty much anything. And that is a big deal because you're getting guaranteed mods on top of things. So, yeah, some things are beneficial to punch. And I didn't punch that, I actually rolled the sockets in that one, which is pretty amazing to me. So, this is not Bnet. I can't sell you that item if you wanted it, I'm sorry. But you know, this is my other thing too, is if you're gonna try and be like, oh, you're playing with twink gear. Dude, 90% of people in Diablo land on Bnet were using twink gear. I hate to burst your bubble. So, or they'd get characters. Ooh, what's this? Angelics? It's either Cathans or Angelics. There's only like 2 or 3 set rings in the game. Alright, so let's go ahead and do Frozen River. This is where we become men. Alright, this place is awful. I'm kind of glad I'm also using Cold because I can actually disintegrate these dudes. Ooh, this is nasty. I don't know what that is, and I don't want to find out. Oh boy. Okay, it's ghosts. It's not the worst thing. I thought that was Gloams, and I almost... Oh my god, I want to fucking throw up whenever I see that. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a unique that always spawns here, but it doesn't matter. I know there's a ring that dropped. I'm a little bit busy, if you couldn't tell, though. So, lots of fucking bosses in here, though. This is a pretty spooky dungeon. Let's not mince words here. This can be pretty bad. So, don't try to, like, horse around. Don't fucking monkey around in this place. And you're probably like, Seth, how come you haven't done any crafted gear? Well, I'm not really a high enough level, and I'm also not in Hell difficulty. I can't really make use out of crafted gear just yet. I mean, if you don't know how to craft gear, you know, it took me years. I don't even know the first time I ever heard you could do that. That was like...
I can't carry anymore.
I want to say the first time I knew you could craft gear was actually when DJ Waters put up a video on it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? You can do that? And then I felt really stupid because I don't even think that the fucking Diablo 2... like, strategy guide that, by the way, I do own, because I actually own the Battle Chest version of this. Like, I don't even think it says anything about that crafting recipe, and if it does, I don't remember it. And I've scoured through that damn thing numerous times, but doesn't mean I paid attention. So, anyways, yeah, you can get, like, a caster. Alright. $10 says he's gonna be, yep, I'm so smart. Seth is the smartest person ever. I was gonna say, I think he's probably, you know, cold immune. Something about that just screams that. So, alright. Frozen Anya. Neelathok did this to me. Here, give this to her. Rub it on her frozen boobies. Okay, let's do that. Let's do just that. Swoosh, and then Anya's free. Woo, yay. Cool, we did something. Oh no, we talked to Mala. That's right. Mala's cool. She fucking is so small and so tiny, but she gives us such a big reward. So, yeah. You can craft gear. It's not very well told in the game that you can do this. So, what you can do is, I'll actually demonstrate it. You know, I'll actually do this because I really don't play on Butterfinger hardly ever anymore, so it's a little bit... I'll do it on this character so you can get an example. Okay, so... Alright, so why does Seth keep all these jewels, right? You're probably like, Seth's just a fucking weird, obsessive-compulsive person. Correct. But... Alright, so... How many do I have left? I don't have very many, as you can see. So, like, up-tiering. I don't know who knows this and who doesn't, so... If we up-tier an item, we can take... I think it's a perfect diamond. It has to be perfect diamond. And an item, right? Like, let's say I want to upgrade this light plate, which I can, because the item tier... Light plate, I think, is... an exceptional item and not an elite tier item. So it up tiers the base item, right? Like this is, I think this starts off at, let's look at this. This is a better example. So Phase Blade I can actually tell you because I know it. So Phase Blade is Crystal Sword, then it's something, and then it's Phase Blade. Phase Blade is the highest tier of it. This is as good as this item will get. If I wanted to make Lawbringer in like a Crystal Sword, which requires less strength because of our Sorceress, we could take Perfect Diamond and a handful of runes. I think it's one rune, Perfect, and then the item, and then we can transmute it and it actually becomes a whole different item. Well, you know what I mean. It'll stop being like a Crystal Sword, it'll turn into a Phase Blade. These mods will stay the same, but the item's base stats get increased. So if you want, let's say, this is a pretty bad Rhyme Shield, right? This could be better. I could up-tier that, but it does upgrade the item, but it also upgrades the requirements. So if whatever this shield is, it's going to be probably a little bit more than that. It depends on each item. Like... Light-plated boots, this is 33 defense. If I wanted to up-tier this, I could get this a higher degree. So you can also take Topaz, I think. Also, all different gems have different variations, right? So we can put in, like, a rune, and then, like, I think it's Perfect Sapphire, and then it has to be, I think, a magic amulet. It can't be rare. You can also do this with gloves. And they have to be magic. They cannot be rare. They can't be sets or uniques. So let's look at some loot just real fast so I can show you what I'm talking about. So let's say... Do I even have anything? Okay, this giant sword. If I really wanted to, I think it's a P diamond. Or not P diamond. It's P ruby, this sword, and a rune. I can transmute it. It becomes crafted. It becomes a blood sword. We could put these boots in there. You have to look on Ariat Summit and see these things, but I actually haven't really done very much crafting in my time in Diablo. So the thing is, those items I think are based on character level, and it also... They are random. They do have specific mods they will roll, but they're not guaranteed. But, you know, it just depends on what you want to do. Also, you can take Grand Charms and re-roll them. So, if you don't know... What did she drop? Oh, it's an orb. This is really bad. Cool. That's nice cold res, but that's really bad. Let's put this crap away before I forget to do it. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, basically, yeah, we have the option to do that. So, what's something else? Like, there's a lot of things you can do. Ew, that's pretty bad. There's a couple other things you can do. So, like, yeah, I told you it was Cathan's. Did I have two? Oh, it's just one. Like, oh, fuck did I get the other one from? So, yeah, like, let's look at these, for example. This is an eye level 80. I think eye level 90 is the best. It's either 90 or 95 for charms. This could roll really high stats on it if I wanted to re-roll this. So it's basically a rune, a gem, and then we can re-roll the stats on it. You can re-roll those infinitely until the cows come home. And then you can go do cows and do it all over again. So, yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to make sure you're on top of things if you're really desperate. But it just depends, right? Like, so, Sorceress, you want to get caster amulets. Those are really good. So, caster amulets, they generally have up to, I think the max is 20% FCR. And what else do they have? They usually, I think, have mana. It's called caster gloves, like blood gloves. Blood gloves are what those are called. You have to look on the RA at Summit. Just take my word for it. I actually do kind of know what I'm talking about with this. So another thing you can do, and this is for the new people into Diablo. One thing you probably don't know, because how the hell would you know this if you never played it, is gambling. Okay, gambling is not important early game, which is also why, if you're curious, why does Seth save up so much gold? It's for gambling late game. So gambling is based entirely on your level. It's not like the Aurora Borealis, it's not localized entirely in your kitchen, but it is, you know, gambling can be good. I'd be wagering that I've got at least a few items that are decent from it. Gambling can, it used to not do this, but it can give you sets and uniques. So if you have an idea of what items you want to find, like let's say you're like, I want to find a, I don't know, like Mara's kaleidoscope, whatever. You could do that. You just have to keep re-rolling the vendor and then just buying the items, because it's always one ring and one amulet. I think it's one ring and one amulet guaranteed every single, like, gamble table. Gambling doesn't matter what merchant it is, it doesn't matter what act it's in, what difficulty it's in, it is entirely dependent on your character's level. So, that's why I don't gamble early game. And it's not, like, the greatest way of making, like, items appear. You can, I mean, get lucky. It's literally a gamble. Ooh, Dimensional Blade. Hello, hello. Never mind, that's not very good. I'll keep it, just for the sake of keeping it, though. I could up-tier it to some other melee character in the future if I really wanted to. But, yeah, like, gambling can be really good if you're careful and you've planned everything out. I mean, sure, go for it, dude. I mean, no one's gonna stop you, because after a while, in the early game, you're just gonna kind of build up gold if you're playing slowly, and kind of like what I'm doing. So, if you're curious, I said before, I actually need to go back to town anyways. I have gold because I'm selling stuff in increments off camera, because I just don't want to do it on camera because it's boring and it takes a while. So don't worry about it. Let's pump some more strength. I want to get up to at least 150. I'm going to put this level to that. Oh, we could get Frozen Orb! No, I'm just kidding. We're not getting Frozen Orb. What else do I need? I kind of want to get... Oh, they're pointing just Blizzard. I'm drinking House Blend, Seattle's Best. It's not my favorite, I have to say. It tastes a little weird. It's not bad, but it's okay. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not really a huge fan of house blends. They almost always just taste the same. Anyways. So, I already forgot what I was talking about. Oh, gambling. So gambling can be pretty good because you're going to just get gold. The reason I don't sell on camera is because it's very boring. You guys really don't want to watch me sell stuff, I'm very, very sure. Why can't you interact with that? It looks like you could. I've never really paid attention to these dungeons because I try to get through them as quickly as humanly possible because I hate them. But yeah, you can get gold find. My nose is really itchy, I'm sorry. You can get gold find if you want. You can just go kill a couple of bosses and just keep selling shit till you have max gold. Actually, demon hide gloves, I might... No, fuck it, I'm not really that worried. I'm not invested enough to really do it. Crafted gear can be good, that's all I'm trying to say. Crafted gear, gambled gear, it can all be fairly decent. It just depends entirely on what the game decides to roll. I mean, you could obviously get something that's just hot trash, but that's the risk you take. If I could really want any item right now, I would probably want a better amulet, but as it stands, I think our amulet is kind of keeping our character pretty high up here. I need to not get so goddamn aggressive. I'm gonna die if I'm not careful. So these bastards will actually knock you back. They're one of the more annoying enemies in the game. They don't make very good, like, revives if you're playing as a Necro, so they're just too slow. In my mind, they don't move quick enough for my liking. Alright, let's go ahead and ID. Like right now, if I was playing on my own time, not using Plugy, I would just have been like, oh, 31 to life, cool, let's get rid of... Oh, I don't know. That's 20. That's a better thing in my mind. So... And... 26, 18... Cold res, 26, 10... I don't know, that's 11. 18... Yeah. We can afford to do that. Let's put that in here for later, and we'll sell this. That's 11 to life. 10 to life. 17 to life. So that's our lowest. We'll go with that. Oh, this is gonna be cool. Check this shit out. Yeah. And we'll put this here. Oh, yeah, look at that. Anyways. So yeah, I'd just be selling this and then just moving on, but we can't really do that right this second because I just don't want to. It's just not very exciting. So, yeah, getting gold, it's tedious. We all know it just sucks. But, you know what? When you don't have gold, it's extremely embarrassing. So, don't do it. Don't be a broke-ass hoe, alright? That's all I can tell you. I've said before, I'm not actually importing gold from the other character. I feel like that's a little cheesy. I know. I know exactly what you're thinking, and it's okay. No one's gonna stop you from thinking that. And if you're like, so how would you play with, like, Bnet or something with, like, gems and stuff? Same thing. I'd only be holding on to a few at a time. I'd mainly probably be holding on to Topaz and Amethyst. And that's really about all I'd hold on to. I always say the only important gear that I'd hold on to in my stash personally, without Plugy, is going to be... Holy shit, those deal a lot of damage. Wow. Is going to be probably just magic finding gear if I can afford to put it in there. And these guys do a shitload of lightning damage, by the way. So, like, probably just magic find gear, a few gems, and my highest runes. That's about it. You don't really need to fuck around with too much stuff in your inventory after a while. I mean, it's nice, and yeah, I know that D2R actually does give you some pretty sick space. You know, I think that's the main thing people like Plugy, is because it gives you more inventory space, because you can save more items. And I think Diablo 3, for all of its faults, actually did have it pretty well locked in for what players wanted with, you know, in terms of inventory space. But then every single time they'd have a new thing, we want more upgrade space. No, you don't. You don't have that much stuff you need. Just make another character. It's not that hard. I'll take the chips. Oh, we're already down our fucking potions here. We're pretty close to getting to the Helithok, so I'm not too worried. Oh my god. This is just a nasty enemy roll. Oh god. Look at fucking Kasim though, he is just kicking ass. Probably because I finally gave him some actually decent armor. But I do want to make, you know, at least a decent rune word for him. Your best bet for making rune words is going to be an F gear. I've said this before, F gear is special because it doesn't actually deteriorate when it's used on a familiar, so I think technically, I'm gonna go get some more potion. Technically you can F gear, like socket punch it with like, there's a couple of ways to do it, like I think F gear, well obviously can spawn with sockets, but yeah, you can. There's some things like, let's say, for some crazy reason this rolled a socket, I could put like a, I mean there's ways to Zod trick stuff, I don't know how to do it. You're better off probably asking someone who knows what they're actually doing. Holy shit! Oh my god, look at that, fucking hell. The only reason I'm gonna fight this, if this was any other, if this was hell difficulty, I would just walk the fuck away. That is way too much shit. The only reason I'm killing any of this is because I can actually kill it, and B, it's XP. So, that was a spooky feeling. Holy shit. But yeah, like, one reason lots of players will get F gear, it is fairly strong. There is some advantages to having F gear. Number one, it is lighter on your strength requirement, so you do not have to worry about, you know, I need to get like X amount of strength. You basically only need like half of the strength, which is awesome, because then you don't have to worry about, you know, oh shit, can I really invest? So it's easier to equip, number one. Number two, I should really not be standing that close to that enemy. And it's one of those situations where the cost on some items is fine. Like, well, that's an ancient sword, never mind. There was a crystal sword, but not what I wanted. I really should go back and get my follower. I'm thinking about it, and it's scaring me the more I think about it. But I'm gonna try and be stubborn and stupid and try to do this myself. By the way, it's not just my gear, it's actually relatively mostly me doing flat up damage that's actually able to do a lot of this, so there is a point where your gear is important, but the character itself still has to get through it. But yeah, F gear is good. F wands, I'm not really sure. But the main thing is you're not hitting things with the wand, so it's not really a huge devastating loss on it. But there is some things like that can spawn repairs durability. I've actually had a Javazon that had like a yellow that I think was F. No, it wasn't F. It wasn't yellow. Sorry, it was. This was like early game. This is the only instance I can really remember. It was a replenishing stack, which was pretty cool, and I think it also was F and had repairs durability. Because when you're using your items like as a Javazon and everything, you can break it really fast. And Javs aren't exactly the most, you know, intense durability of all time. So yeah, you kind of have to do repairs a lot. I think there's some that have infinite stacks on Javs. I don't remember. It's been a few years since I've made a Javazon. By the way, I'm absolutely just kind of happy I'm dealing as much damage as I am right now. So yeah, there is a pretty good place for F gear. It just depends, like I said. And if your character can even be bothered to use it. I mean, there's no point in not using it if you can early game, but just remember, it's it's not always the worst thing ever. It can be a quick and dirty solution to a very... Like, if you have a real bad problem, like, let's say you're just not dealing enough damage as a melee character, and you have the ability to use an Eth item, do it. I mean, by all means, it might break, but you can always get another one. And it can be used to hold out, like, just a little bit longer until you get that last bit of good stuff. I mean, it's not common, but it's at least one thing. But like I said, everyone's got a different way of playing. Oh, excuse me. Maybe you like to have all F gear because you're crazy. I don't know. Maybe you just like the way it looks. I personally would only say get it if you want to use it for a mercenary. That's my stance usually. Because like I said, they don't actually deteriorate it, and that was not fixed in Diablo Resurrected, thank God, because it's charming that it works like that. It's such a strange little thing that they never address like anywhere else. It's just the way the game works, and I like that. I think that would be just... Maybe it was actually the intention, who knows, I don't know. But, I really need to get the hell out of this dungeon really quick, I'm pretty sure. This is just gonna be fucking Agony City if I'm not careful here in a minute. Ooh, a tur! Yay, that's a very low tier room, but I don't care. Let's go back to town. I really do not want to fucking deal with this. This is too... it's too spooky, I don't like it. And we'll go ahead and get our boy. And you're probably like, man, look at these levels jumping. Oh, yeah, that's right, we get Rowlert Towel. This is pretty cool, I guess.
Impossible.
Impossible? What's taking up all that space? Well, I don't feel like going back for it. So let's also put a point into Firebolt and more into life. We're going to have a shitload of health by the end of this character. That's not because I'm lazy, it's because it's a necessity. I really need to fucking organize my inventory. It's 9:40, I gotta kill Neelathok and then kill Bale. And do some more stuff outside of this. Oh, the reason I'm not playing not RuneScape, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now is because, well, I'm 1 in 20 in Master Duel, and it's not one loss, no, it's 20. It's because I've been using Crystal Beasts, it's been really bad. I'm just not... I'm not liking it. Look, it's got its place. I'm not gonna say it doesn't. It's just a very, very bad structured deck. I was very disappointed in it. For all the reasons that you might not understand if you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, but trust me, it's just not very good. Look, if I've only won one match out of 20 with something that is supposed to be a way of jumping in, and it's not helping me, it's just not a good feeling. Actually, it might be up there. I haven't been all the way up there yet. Come on. There we go. This map is always the same, I'm pretty sure. Oh, God, we gotta be really careful, because we can get lamed out pretty bad here. Okay, so, well, not just on the enemies, but because Corpse Explosion is probably enough to kill us, and I don't want to die. So, yeah, I'm just really... I don't like to sound like that guy. I'm just really disappointed in that deck. It's... I really can't describe it very well, and I don't feel like... I'm gonna die if I'm not careful. Holy shit. I don't feel comfortable describing why it's so bad, because I think it's about 500 different things and all of them are different. Okay, let's take this smart. Let's not. Okay. If you don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, just pretend to be interested for 5 seconds. That deck is just not good. It relies on like 7 cards, and that's just entirely too many. I'm sorry. Okay, first of all, wow, nice drops. Those are really bad. Like, it requires a lot of fucking cards to get out, and it has very little protection, it has very little... It's just got very little anything going on. We're gonna kill Bale in the next episode, I'll see you then.
Time to die.